In Dragon Ball, there's one character whose relatability and development outshines the rest. That character is, of course, Prince Vegeta IV. Now, Vegeta is a character that is very relatable for a lot of us and is also one of our favorites, if not our favorite. He is my favorite, but regardless, Vegeta is someone who really intrigues not just me, but everyone in the fan base because of where he comes from. Now, let's actually take a step back and look at Vegeta. So Vegeta resonates with a lot of us because, or rather, we must first understand why that happens. So first of all, Vegeta, when we take a step back and understand the fact that where he comes from, Vegeta comes from Saiyan nobility. However, since throughout his life he has felt entitled, and he was actually told that he was the best and better than any other person that exists, other than of course perhaps Frieza. Vegeta had always kept in mind that he was the strongest Saiyan out there, and as such he had felt that he was entitled to a lot of things in life, and in his mind he had kept in mind his objective of taking down Frieza. And throughout his life, Vegeta felt that he was on top of the world until of course his encounter with Goku, that actually ended up giving him a reality check and actually brought down his ego a little bit and humbled him down, until of course he realized something else, that he could actually become better than Goku, and thus he actually decided to push himself. And throughout his journey he actually strives to find the meaning behind why Goku always surpasses him, and until the end he actually realizes that and what the reality is. Now, the reason Vegeta is very relatable for us is because as we are growing up as children, we always are very curious kids, and we are exploring the world around us. And while we are exploring the world around us, we are making really strong realizations, and as we are making those strong realizations, we come to notice how much there is that we can do, and that instills in us some confidence. And when there is this confidence, of course, confidence only lasts till we see that someone else is better than us. And in the case of this scenario, there are two kinds of people, of course: those that overdo and those who think a lot. And those who actually end up thinking a lot do less, whereas those who do a lot end up doing more, but the quality of their work may be lesser in comparison to those who are thinking a lot. So anyhow, it is mainly those who think a lot that actually end up in this position where they are outshined by those who are constantly doing, since of course that's the difference between introverts and extroverts. So in our lives, when we are young, we first have a sense of confidence, and while we have a strong sense of confidence, we finally see ourselves outshined by someone else. And when we see someone who outshines us, we of course, our first instinct would be to try and get better, or rather, if that does not work out, we end up maintaining a state of depressiveness, and we actually do become depressed to a certain extent. And while we are depressed, yeah, we actually are still striving, but at the same time we are really very negative towards the person at hand, and that can actually form in some sort of resentment. But regardless of that fact though, Vegeta is actually someone who actually embodies this fact. He actually does strive for more, and he has always felt that he has a lot of competence, and he does actually deserve a lot of stuff for how bad his background is, and he literally had a lot of stuff that he was destined for taken from him from Frieza, and of course he feels in a very negative light. We often undermine how bad Vegeta's life was just because of the fact that he was nobility, but yes, Vegeta has also suffered quite a bit. Just imagine, first of all, that you are a prince and you are entitled for a lot of things in life, but suddenly, just as you're a child, before you have realized any of the things that you were promised, that's all taken from you by someone who you never even thought of that existed. You never thought that person existed, and yeah, suddenly Vegeta has this realization about how evil Frieza is, and is secretly throughout his life harboring a grudge against Frieza and to surpass Frieza first of all, but until that he meets Goku. And Vegeta has thought throughout his life that he is going to be the legendary Super Saiyan, but as it turns out, there is one Saiyan that is actually competing with him and is actually stronger. So it does not, however, stop there. So Vegeta has obviously a lot of love towards his bloodline, and ancestry, of course. And since Vegeta is very fond of his heritage, he actually does not want to see the fact that someone else to just come up and take that from him. Throughout Vegeta's life, that this is the main theme. Something he has that is actually supposed to be his gets taken from him, and that's actually what shatters him down even more. First of all, we have Goku, who he meets, and we already see that Goku and Vegeta are on parallels and are around the same power level. However, I say around the same power level, but yeah, Goku's a slight bit higher. But however, later on, the disparity even increases when Vegeta sees Goku turn to a Super Saiyan. So on one hand, Vegeta feels a lot of envy, but on the other, as he is dying, he does realize that if there was someone to carry on the torch, he would prefer that it be Goku than any other person that is alive at the moment. So Vegeta was actually cognizant of that fact. However, it still remained the fact that he did feel a lot of envy towards Goku. Why would he not though? Since obviously he was born in a heritage and he was made to believe all of these things and that he was actually meant for all these things, but suddenly there comes someone who he actually looks down upon and he suddenly outshines him. Wow, and of course that is going to break Vegeta's heart, but still Vegeta tries to remain very stoic and strong and decides to actually train harder. And eventually during the Android Saga, he actually does obtain the Super Saiyan transformation, but only after he has seen Trunks, and this was before Vegeta had known that Trunks was his child. So yes, that actually accentuated his envy and that actually motivated him further. So Vegeta is already someone who, although outwardly strong, is clearly suffering inside, especially the fact that he has seen 3 other people by now actually taking from him what he has felt was his. That being Frieza, first of all, taking over Planet Vegeta and then destroying it. Then of course Goku coming over and actually taking over the title of the legendary Super Saiyan that actually Vegeta had thought he was, but it turns out it's Goku who is going to be the legendary Super Saiyan that is going to take down Frieza. And not just that, before that his suffering has even ended, not just one, but another Super Saiyan comes around and Vegeta does not even know who this person is, and he actually takes away what Vegeta desired most of his life, the revenge he desired. He takes it away from him. And yeah, Vegeta has already suffered 3 blows, but after 3 blows, he actually finally unlocks Super Saiyan 1. But it does not even stop there. Once he has unlocked Super Saiyan 1, Goku and Trunks both later surpass him again, and that actually is still hurting Vegeta. And when Vegeta is actually stronger than they are, it just so happens that Gohan, another person that Vegeta was looking down upon, suddenly out of nowhere, very unprecedented, and Vegeta had not even been aware of this, but Gohan actually surpasses Vegeta in front of him too, and this crushes Vegeta even more. So Vegeta then starts to ponder for a deeper meaning in life. What could it be that actually could help him become more powerful? So he actually decides to bond with his family. Note, yes, Vegeta had Trunks with Bulma before Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2. However, Vegeta was yet not very fond of Bulma and baby Trunks, and his fondness actually started to come later on. So after Vegeta admits defeat to Gohan, sort of, and actually decides to go in hiding and just mellow down for a bit, he actually decides to start farming connections with Bulma and Trunks, hoping that will actually allow him to become stronger and reclaim his heritage. However, even that does not work for him, and he actually then finally descends down into misery, and actually, since he has to live in now not just one person's shadow, but at this point 4 different people's shadows, he actually descends down and actually seeks help from Babidi, and he actually risks his morality and actually lets Babidi take over, although Vegeta's pain is so strong that even Babidi cannot compress it, and Vegeta actually ends up becoming even more stronger than Babidi, and that actually is something that even Goku is terrified of. And once Vegeta dies finally, he actually does actually end up being happy, because he has attained a new level of power, but however, he does actually have some regrets because he has learned new things in life now, how to love people. And since he has learned how to love people, his life is no longer just about revenge. And since it's no longer about revenge, he actually regrets the sacrifice he has made. And yeah, once Vegeta dies and he is reborn again, again in the Majin Buu saga, we finally see that Vegeta actually ends up, first of all, although still in denial with Goku and working with him, he eventually towards the end of this arc actually cools down and actually accepts that Goku is better. And he actually has a realization that it was not just a few things, it was not just about power, it was not just about love, but it was about a lot of other factors that Vegeta had not even thought about. And suddenly he actually realizes what those factors are and why Goku is so much better than him, because Vegeta actually seeks power for his heritage and there's a reason behind it. But Goku is seeking that solely out of interest and genuine passion, whereas Vegeta's passion is more feigned, and there is a reason behind it, and that's literally it. That's why Vegeta has this realization that Goku is so much better than he is. So after that arc, we obviously have two pathways. Of course, there's one pathway of the filler Dragon Ball Z episodes that descend into GT, or we can go towards Dragon Ball Super. So for the sake of this video, let's go to Dragon Ball Super. So in Dragon Ball Super, we obviously see Vegeta, and Vegeta is much more calmer and he is more fond of Bulma now, and not just Bulma but also Trunks, and he is much more of a family man now and even goes out on holidays now. Now we have seen a very stark contrast and of course a very strong development in Vegeta. He's literally gone from being a tyrannical planet conqueror who actually sought power to just someone who has calmed down and also has another priority in life now, but at the same time he does still care about surpassing Goku. And of course in Dragon Ball Super, of course Toyotaro has erased the disparity in power levels between Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta is up to Goku's level now again, somewhat. And we see how passionate Vegeta is about his new interest, about having a family, when we see Beerus slap Bulma, but Vegeta actually ends up getting really riled up and actually takes action and actually combats Beerus. So we have seen Vegeta get so much better now as a character, but it does not even stop there. Towards the Tournament of Power arc, when Vegeta is about to have a daughter, he actually stops and actually waits for her to be born. This is very important because earlier in the Android saga, when Android 19 was actually about to kill Bulma and Baby Trunks, Future Trunks actually intervened because Vegeta did not, and Future Trunks actually interrupted Vegeta and asked him why he actually let his own son and wife die, and he actually told Trunks that it was foolish of him to actually care about them because they are just weaklings and all Vegeta cares about is power. And we finally see Vegeta actually get to a point that he's literally rejecting the tournament just so his daughter can be born. That is a very, very strong development in Vegeta. Throughout though, we can see that while Vegeta has suffered really fatal wounds now, and he has actually come to terms with them and has actually accepted that Goku is going to be somewhat stronger than him, but he actually still seeks to be stronger. But so while he has accepted his pain, he actually has decided to move along with it. And he has achieved a certain balance. While he is still trying really hard to be better than Goku, he still accepts the fact that Goku is better right now and does not really hold any strong resentments towards Goku. And while he is not resenting Goku, he is actually moving forward as a person. And as he's moving forward, we have finally seen Vegeta as a much more healthier human, or well, not a human being, but rather a being, a more stronger and more healthier being. Since of course I say that because he's a Saiyan, but yeah, we finally see Vegeta come to a nicer conclusion, and his strong developments and issues with resentment and revenge come to a whole, and finally Vegeta becomes a better person as a whole.